no, it started with this. Should I have taken this on?
I know you're here because you're interested in seeing the development of this mid-century ranch house. And I'm so excited to be sharing with you all the things that happen on a project, from design to construction and any other things that may happen along the way. Hi there, it's Annette, and I'm finally making this video on this Hawthorne remodel. So I'm here sitting down on my living room floor, legs crossed, making sure I'm very comfortable because I'm gonna be here for a little bit. So today's video is gonna be part of a series I'm planning on making because it's just gonna be way too long to tell you the entire story of the house in just one run. So a couple of things you could expect from me today is I'll be guiding you through the existing conditions, sharing with you some floor plans and some photos, and give you some facts and figures. The next, I'm going to be sharing some renovation strategies. And then lastly, I'm going to be sharing budget because everyone's interested in that. I need to walk around and stretch my legs. I'm getting a little tired. So here we are in a temporary workspace. And I'm calling this temporary because I'm in the middle of getting new furniture and equipment and readjusting the layout to it. So right over here is going to be my drafting table where I do most of my drawings. Yeah, peek at my dog's bed below. But basically, anyways, let's get back to the video. So the next set of rolls is going to be a video of me guiding you through what it's like to be inside the space. So let's take a look. You walk into the house and see this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, got ahead of myself. Let's go back to the beginning. What you're seeing here is the existing floor plan for Hawthorne. It's a 1,627 square feet house built in 1957, a ranch-style desert home that's on a quarter-acre lot, with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a covered carport. North is up. And for immediate context, you have mountain views to the north and lush garden views to the south. More on this later. The house is basically a rectangle, which is a very efficient layout. During the time it was built in the 50s, cost-effective construction methods were valued for the booming housing market. The building envelope is a single white brick with a CMU backup wall. There's also this interesting washed brick effect along the entire exterior. There's a mix of sill height windows and full height sliders. What's also interesting is that you'll find all sliding doors on the south wall, which emphasize the indoor and outdoor connections. To the west is a detached outdoor storage room that you can access between the tiny breezeway between the house and the storage. I'm now drawing the outline of the roof, and typical of these mid-century ranch homes, the south side has a larger overhang to protect against the elements for that indoor-outdoor transition. The north and east sides have smaller openings, and there's a larger covered area on the northwest corner, but more on that later. The house has a low single pitch. It's very straightforward and simple. The roof pitch is being supported by a ridge beam that's hidden above the plastered ceiling. Let's go inside. You enter the home on the north elevation and you're greeted by a small vestibule. Even further beyond the vestibule is a framed opening that leads you to the living room. East of the entrance is a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, and let me tell you about this bathroom. I've never seen a tile so bright that it blinded my eyes. Right below the bedroom is the living room. Oh, that awkward partial height wall which separates the kitchen and living room. As you step into the kitchen and dining, you then proceed to a double-loaded hallway that leads you to 2 bedrooms, storage closets, and a bathroom. With this bathroom, I didn't love the aesthetic, but I appreciated it was trying to have cool desert vibes. At least the finishes were coordinated. Highlighting the main circulation paths which happen along the ridge of the house and access to outside from the sliding doors below. Back to the carport, which is located on the northwest corner of the house. It has room for one car, but there's a lot of space in front of the drive for additional cars to park. Converting this carport to an enclosed room is something I'm heavily considering, but again, more on that later. Highlighting the 3 bedrooms, and let me take my peach marker and highlight the areas of demolition and construction. That'll be a separate video. Sketch is almost done and I want to end on this. I knew right away how I wanted to design this house. A priority for me was to maintain its mid-century style roots and study what it looks like from inside out. To bring in natural elements, create warmth and clarity, subtle pops of color, and exposing its honest materials are key words to help guide the design. The drawing is now done, and I hope you enjoyed watching me sketch and learn more about the house's context. And I also know that it's not a full-blown drawing or very detailed in any way, but I wanted to share that with you as a quick way to introduce you to the house. And also, it was a lot of fun for me to draw. I've always loved drawing. It's always been part of my process. And whenever I start a project, I make sure that all the ideas that I have gets quickly transferred down into paper, because that's just the best way for me to get my ideas out and have that manifested into a conceptual form and then to a 3-dimensional reality. And even though I know computer-aided drawings are so important to this whole field, there's just something really lovely and just something so unique about being able to draw by hand. Okay, here's a story with the Hawthorne Remodel. So it's basically a personal project, which is a house I purchased at the end of 2024 as an investment property. So when I left my full-time job, opened up my own practice, I knew I needed to work on this ASAP because it has been sitting for the longest time with nothing being done to it. So now is the perfect opportunity to do something and make it great with a lot of focus and care. I have a lot of experience in renovations. That would include both residential and commercial buildings. And I've noticed over the years that there are strategies that always reoccur and I gravitate towards. You call this an intuition or maybe a design ethos, but it basically comes down to these 4 strategies. Celebrate history. Identify points of focus to create a wow factor. Create warmth, joy that's breathable and livable for today's life. And clarify and simplify both spatially and psychologically. So how does this play out for Hawthorne? Well, it's a 1950s mid-century ranch-style house, as you know, so exposing and emphasizing angles and roof lines is going to be considered, possibly exposing what's hidden beneath and celebrating its construction techniques. 2, to be conscious of budget, while at the same time making the most impactful experiences, prioritizing public areas for design opportunities such as the kitchen, living room. The original footprint of the house is about 1,600 square feet, which is slightly larger for a house built during this period. Back in the 50s, the average size of a home like this would have probably been between 900 to 1,200 square feet. And my guess for this larger size is this neighborhood, which might have catered towards people with larger families who wanted to live in a nicer middle-class part of town. To make sure this house fits today's needs while making sure it's creating joy and warmth with intentional building finishes is a goal I want to accomplish. The last is to clean up the circulation, maintain or emphasize views, and remove what no longer serves the house. The house felt a bit disparate and scattered, and I understood why it was done that way. It's my responsibility as an architect to improve older buildings over time, and I often ask myself, can I orient myself within the house and have a clear sense of place? I mentioned before about identifying key areas to focus on design. Here's a peek at the 3 spaces I want to feature. For this first view, we'll be in the living room, and what I'm showing you here is a sketch perspective that's still pretty conceptual right now, looking towards the fireplace right there. There's a couple of things I want to feature. The exposed ridge beam to show off the roof pitch and the ceiling right there. I need to have more thought about what I'm going to do with the chimney and the fireplace, but here's that building entrance and here's the dining area. This next one, we're looking into the kitchen, and this is a view standing in the living room area. And the thought is to make this into one contiguous space. You'll see the exposed ridge beam there, the finished ceiling right there, dining area to the right, and then entrance right next to it. There used to be an existing partial height wall that divided the spaces, but that was a little weird, so we're planning on demoing. And then the kitchen itself will have a beautiful island and some articulation to the back wall. We're now in the last view, and we're seeing a reimagined primary suite. This used to be the exterior carport, and the plan is to enclose it so I have more usable indoor space. You'll notice up above, the exposed ridge beam gets carried through the entirety of the house, expressing roof lines, and in the back, you'll notice that the exterior masonry storage room gets maintained, planning for a reading nook to the right of it, and to the left of the storage room would be a plumbing facility. Entrance to the left. How much have I budgeted for this project? Honestly, it's not that simple of a number to say because I need to be considering about so many different things. There's lifestyle, there's urgency, and even the purpose of the house. So is this going to be a vacation home or something I profit off of? But the biggest question is how much can I realistically afford? So it's much more about how much I'm willing to spend than the actual number itself. Since this is a personal project I'll be funding myself, and there's going to be a couple of mortgage financing, I need to make sure I'm monitoring my funds very closely because I don't want things to get out of control. By the way, carrying a mortgage is not a bad thing. I know most people tend to think of debt as bad, but it's really not when you're thinking about it as leverage, which is how is this going to help me now so that I'll be okay in the future? So if I step back and assess my situation and put a number to it, I roughly budgeted around $165,000 for the entire project, start to finish, and that includes both hard and soft costs. I've also made sure to put a contingency, especially for renovations, because it's just good practice to do it. You never know with renovation projects what you'll see, and you don't really have a full picture of what lies above, what lies beneath, and what's inside the walls. Also, with smaller projects like a home renovation, there's likely a chance that something's going to get messed up or something's going to get delayed or someone could be missing from the project. With my $165,000 budget, my strategy was to identify what I need to have, which are my definite non-negotiables, and what are nice to have. The house is dated and requires a lot of upgrades, so the bulk of the costs went into the infrastructure, such as the HVAC, electrical work, new plumbing lines for a new bathroom and replacing old sewer lines, and the structural work for stiffening existing beams and columns and for the new possible enclosed carport. After all of this is done, everything then gets pulled down to the nice to have list. This is what worked for me, and hopefully you'll find something insightful for your future projects. And that's it. That's the end of my first intro video, and hopefully you have a clear picture of what I'm working with and you understand the project a little bit better. I'll keep you posted on what's next, so catch you in the next video. Bye!